Move, Donna, you're blocking the view and the entrance, barked a voice sharp as broken glass slicing across the low chatter of the dining room. Donna Santini, broad-shouldered, full-hipped, balancing a weighty tray of veal ossobuco, hesitated for half a breath. Behind her, the ring of laughter from the corner table told her exactly whose night she'd just disrupted. Her soft form filled the narrow aisle of Trattoria Bellini, the aging Manhattan landmark whose velvet-lit walls seemed to close in tighter every Saturday night. She lowered the tray, chin taut, forcing herself to smile as she brushed past the sour-faced man blocking her path, a man she'd served 100 times, whose sneers never stung any less. From the main entrance, a sharper silence fell. Shadows pressed along the polished mosaic floor. The kitchen's fluorescent glare cut briefly across the dining room as three men swept in, one tall, sharp as a suit folded with razors, gold signet catching the light with each measured gesture. The air thickened, tables grew silent, murmurs dying as every gaze bent toward the door. Only the Don moved as though nothing in the city could touch him. He strode forward, gaze landing briefly, unmistakably on her. Donna's breath drew tight against her chest. She met those dark eyes just once. She turned, tray steady despite the tremor in her wrist, and walked straight into the next storm. In the restaurant's core, pressed between steaming plates and crisp linen, Donna navigated a maze of elbows and white aprons. She had mapped this terrain with her senses, the clang of cutlery in the open kitchen, the bouquet of Barolo rising from a nearby table, the antique espresso machine groaning in the background. It should have been routine, but tonight every footstep felt watched. The anxious manager signaled her over by the dessert fridge, sweat blooming at his receding hairline. "Take the main floor," he hissed. "The Don never waits. Keep your voice down. No mistakes tonight, please, Donna." "I know," Donna replied softly, tugging at the collar of her worn wool coat before slipping it onto its peg. She smoothed her forest green apron, feeling every fold, counting each breath, anchoring herself. She picked up her notepad and pen, a prop, but her shield nonetheless. Table 12 waited. There amid his entourage sat the Don Marcello Bianchi, the name whispered through the city with reverence and dread. On his left, the right hand, all angles, watchful eyes, and beside them the skeptical enforcer with a hunger that was never quite sated. A thick cigar rested unlawfully between Marcello's fingers, silver lighter poised, defiant. Smoke curled above their heads as though armoring the scene. When Donna approached, she bent slightly, not quite a beau, never a supplicant. "Welcome to Bellini's, gentlemen." "She speaks," mused Marcello, voice gravelly and low, thick with Sicilian accent. "Bellissima." His gaze lingered, amusement dancing at the edge, a challenge offered for her alone. Donna felt heat crawl up her neck. "What can I start you with?" she asked, pen trembling only once. He leaned back, eyes never leaving her. "3 Barolos, 2 tomahawk ribeyes, the osso bucco for my guests, and you, miss." "Santini, Donna Santini," she replied, meeting his gaze for a half-beat longer than she dared. Her scribble was precise, she didn't cross out or hesitate. The Don watched her hands as she wrote. "You have the hands of a pianist, Miss Santini, quick, precise." She laughed softly, almost unsure. "No one in my family played piano, sir." "I see a liar when I look, but not you." His tone warmed just a shade, curiosity threading his next words. "Bring us the best you can do, Miss Santini, and no one else, only you tonight." A visible shiver passed through the staff. Donna nodded, pressing herself into motion, gaze steady as she turned to relay the order. From behind, Marcello's eyes lingered, the hinge of his jaw tensing as she vanished into the kitchen. He spoke, sotto voce, to his men. "She's different. Don't let anyone near her, not even for a minute." The evening unfolded beneath warped glass and crystal. Donna moved table to table, but her attention circled back to the corner, where the Don's laughter sometimes fractured the polished silence of wine and cigar smoke. Every time she set down a plate, skins prickled along the room's edge. The Don watched, drinking in every movement. Then came the harsh voice again, Salvator, a local bookie, cheapskate, and repeat offender at humiliation. He'd horned in on a corner booth, emboldened by an audience. "Hey, Santini," he called out in a nasally English-tinged Sicilian. He pronounced her name with venom. "Careful you don't eat what you serve, or there won't be any plates left for us." The regulars snickered. Donna's cheeks flushed. Her hand sought the edge of a napkin, folding it sharply as she steadied herself against the humiliation. Her body, familiar, sturdy, not built for their kind of glamour, felt suddenly exposed, a beacon for their cruelty. Marcello's fork paused, poised in the air. His entourage stiffened. Salvatore pressed on, grinning. "I'll say it plain. Bet you hit every table in this joint before dessert. Why not roll yourself to the kitchen, eh?" The laughter at Salvatore's words rose, harsh and uneven. Even the staff hesitated, unsure which side to tend. All eyes went to the Don's table for a cue. Instead, Marcello leaned forward, voice low, speaking fluent Sicilian, assurance in every syllable. "You should keep your mouth busy with food, not foolishness, Salvatore. The lady is working." Salvatore snorted undeterred. In a mock whisper, he fired back with a string of Sicilian insults. "Una vacca grossa, si pensa signora ma nessuno ti vuole, bella, torna nella tua stalla." Donna stiffened. For a half-beat, the air thickened into cement. She inhaled once, deep, then answered in flawless, rapid-fire Sicilian. "At least I serve with dignity, Salvatore, while you serve nothing but your own shame. Quelli ci duradono sono sempre quelli ci temono di esser visti." With a practiced flair, she flicked her wrist, resetting the silverware in perfect alignment. The room stilled. No one expected her retort, certainly not in the rhythm of their mother tongue. Salvatore blanched, his bravado draining. Marcello's eyes widened, then darkened with something fierce. His men exchanged glances, one even grinning openly. Donna straightened, spine lengthening with the shock. "Your table's not on my rotation tonight, signor. If you'd like manners, try the buffet at Penn Station." She walked off, steps measured and proud. A tray crashed in the kitchen. Someone, distracted by the moment, had lost grip. The maitre d' darted after Donna, eyes frantic. What was that? You never told me you spoke Sicilian," he hissed. Marcello's phone buzzed on the table. He hardly noticed. Instead, he signaled one of his men to fetch Donna. "Bring her," he said, "now." Outside the window, rain battered the city. The skeptical enforcer stared at his phone, eyes narrowing. "Boss, something's moving across town. That shipment, they're coming early. We've got 20-30 minutes max." Marcello nodded, gaze still burning into the kitchen. "Understood." Donna returned, notepad folded. "Was there a problem with the order, Mr. Bianc?" she asked, voice even. Marcello studied her, eyes flint and fascination. "Who taught you to fight back like that, Miss Santini?" "People who understood the cost of silence," she replied. He reached into his inner pocket and pressed a black envelope into her palm, crisp with the weight of $100 bills. "You'll join us after your shift, Donna Santini." No argument. She opened her mouth to protest. The Don's warning cut in first, just loud enough for Salvatore to hear. "No one disrespects my server again, not in this place." Salvatore dropped his gaze, muttering curses as Marcello's men closed in around the Don's table in a not-so-subtle wall. All power suddenly had shifted. Marcello rose, collecting his cigar with that same silver lighter. "Enough," he said. He swept from the table, nodding for Donna to follow. Rain sheeted over the sidewalk, neon reflections bleeding into puddles as Donna, coat heavy and sodden, fumbled with the lock at the side entrance. Her tote bag sagged against her hip, jammed with coins and the weight of that forbidden envelope. To her left, slick and hulking beneath streetlight glare, idled a midnight black Lincoln Navigator. Tinted window rolled down, revealing Marcello, no longer the Don, just a silhouette with a voice that traced velvet shadows. "Miss Santini, get in the car." She hesitated, rain streaming over her brow. "I'd rather take the subway." "The F train is suspended tonight. Someone pulled the alarm at Bryant Park. Get in." His command was simple, final. Donna weighed her options, then ducked in, her senses alive to cologne, tobacco, bergamot, something old-world alluring. Crystal decanter perched beside the armrest, untouched. Marcello's gaze flickered to her, the city's chaos sealed out by bulletproof glass. He tilted toward her. "That scene back there, where did you learn Catanese dialect?" The question was a blade through the quiet. Donna demurred, tracing a fingertip around the decanter's edge. "My father," she said. "He made sure I understood things, accounts, songs, dialect, hid us from the wrong eyes." Marcello's eyes darkened. The accountant with a safe house on Bay Ridge. Salvatore dropped your name years ago, didn't he? He took in the tension in her hands, the way she checked street numbers by habit. What are you running from, Donna? She turned, unwilling to flinch. Nothing now, you saw tonight, nothing left to hide. He exhaled in a long, heavy breath as though measuring weights between loyalty and need. You'll stay at my club until I sort this shipment. No one crosses you, understood? Donna nodded, understood. He brushed a droplet from her cheek with a knuckle. You surprised me. She looked away, daring every cell in her body not to tremble. That tends to happen. His phone buzzed again, this time urgent, guttural voices on the line. The docs, they moved up the timeline, we need to go. Donna sat forward. Take me with you if you don't want to leave a witness behind. For a moment he hesitated, then motioned to his driver. Only because you're not just a waitress tonight, Donna Santini. The convoy cut through the city's veins, Bellini's to the warehouse district, headlights slicing puddle-smeared blacktop. Marcello's guards spilled from the navigator, securing the perimeter as gale winds whipped in from the Hudson. Inside, the loading bay echoed with the metallic groan of cargo doors. Donna followed Marcello close, her pulse a hammer inside her ribcage. In this world, guns, codes, voices half-spoken, every rule rewritten itself each breath. The Don and his lieutenants argued over manifestos, percentages, a nervous Italian junior accountant holding court with trembling hands. Marcello barked commands in Sicilian, eyes darting between Donna and the men in wool suits crowding the war table. Then, in the attic of noise, Donna heard it barely, but as clear to her trained ear as a church bell, two men on the far side exchanging words in a dialect she had not uttered in years. A phrase meant to mask intent, porta la merce de mani, la ragazza copper per noi. She froze, catching Marcello's eye, subtle, but he caught her meaning. She stepped forward and in sharp, perfect Sicilian interrupted the two men. Funny thing about code words, you get caught when you trust the wrong audience. Her delivery was icy, deliberate. The junior accountant spun, wide-eyed. The others blanched as she repeated their words back verbatim, dissecting their dialect with surgical precision. Marcello's men tensed, recognizing a breach. The skeptical enforcer watched as Donna walked between armed men as if she owned the ground. What's she doing? He whispered. She's showing us what the rats forgot, Marcello replied, voice dark with pride. Donna leaned in, addressing the accountant and Salvatore wherever he cowered. Salvatore, you always liked to gamble. Too bad you bet on the wrong family this time. One guard tried to lift a weapon, the right hand intercepted with steely fingers. Marcello gestured, wordless, and the entire warehouse stilled. Explain, he commanded, voice all iron. Donna inched forward, teeth bared in a wry smile. Your shipment wasn't just at risk, Mr. Byank. It was set up by these men using old debts and new codes. Salvatore fed them details from inside. And this one, she pointed to the junior accountant, has been laundering their cut with a neat game of mispronounced dialect slips. The rival family's connection, layer one insulter proving to be the rat, became impossible to hide. The enforcer's phone buzzed. He's trying to run, he growled. Marcello caught Donna's gaze. In a single public gesture, he reached for her, lifting her chin until she met his eyes. He turned her to face every capo, every soldier in the warehouse. See her, he announced. She reads what you cannot, protects what we all forget. Donna's voice, steady, concluded, you'll want to check the manifest in the 6th crate, and perhaps fire the ones who mock the help. Marcello nodded, let it be done. His lieutenants closed in on Salvatore's men. Arrests, confessions tumbling out in a torrent of Sicilian, all while Donna watched, unflinching. Dawn bled over the city as the last of the traitors were hauled away, sirens a distant memory. Donna stood in the quiet hush of Trattoria Bellini's rebuilt private lounge, sunlight fractured across the mahogany tables. The old staff, wide-eyed, respectful, nodded as she passed, carrying her tote no longer heavy with fear. Marcello waited by the window, signet gleaming, hands folded. He motioned her forward, gesturing to a velvet box on the table. For you, he said, from the family you've now claimed. She opened the box. Inside, an antique rolling pin engraved with her name, a token of honor for the woman who saved them with words rather than weapons. Marcello drew her close, setting a gentle hand at the back of her neck, a claim as intimate as any crown. The room is yours, Donna, so is the respect. They'll never touch you again. Donna smiled, unyielding. You underestimate me still. I was never just a waitress. He touched his forehead to hers. No, you were always reason enough. She nodded, then let's get to work, Marcello. If you enjoyed Donna's story, like this video, subscribe for more Mafia Romance, and don't forget to ring that bell for updates. Donna slipped the weight of the rolling pin between her palms, marveling at the way the antique mahogany seemed to fit her grip perfectly, solid, warm, meant to last. The etched letters gleamed under the morning light, shimmering gold against old wood. Donna Santini. Her own name, but redefined, no longer worn thin by years of small humiliations. A hush lingered about the room as if everyone present understood that something important, something fragile and irreversible, had happened in the night. She stood by the window, letting a breath escape as the city woke outside. Horns, bicycle bells, the steady hiss of bus brakes, distant music blending old world and new. Marcello watched her unhurried. He'd peeled back his armor for once, suit jacket slung over a chair, crisp white shirt open at the collar. The ring on his little finger, a lion rampant, crowned, caught the sun's rays, casting strange shadows across the table between them. He gestured for her to sit across from him, sliding a delicate demi-tasse of espresso toward her. She accepted, watching the way his fingers curled around his own cup, steady and gentle despite everything about him that was violence and risk. It's been years since I've seen the staff this quiet, Donna said, finally breaking the hush. Her words hovered, floating between humor and relief. The kitchen will recover, Marcello replied with the faintest smile, far better than my books will with half my accountants headed for Rikers. He sipped his espresso. But that is the cost of house cleaning. She nodded, swirling the dark liquid thoughtfully. It's not just about the numbers, though. You needed someone who could listen beneath the surface, read the room. I needed someone who wasn't afraid to see me as a man, not just an empire, Marcello said quietly, leaning forward. Last night, you risked your name. You could have walked away, but you stood your ground twice. Donna met his gaze, unblinking. The only way you survive in this city is by refusing to be invisible. I got tired of apologizing for taking up space. Something flickered across Marcello's face, surprise first, then admiration, and finally a tenderness he stowed behind every order and threat. I should have met you 20 years ago. She touched his hand, the faintest brush that spoke of trust and something more complicated just beginning. You met me now, so what comes next? He glanced behind him, two of his men always lurking, always attentive, pretended interest in the wine list. I want you to run Bellini's front of house for me, he said, voice low. Make it yours, you understand people, you speak a dozen languages of loyalty. I want that steel at my tables. Donna's lips quirked in reluctant amusement, not as a courtesy hire. He laughed, rich and real, surprising himself. As the woman who stares down trouble and turns my own men inside out, as Donna Santini, not as anyone's charity. She considered the offer a moment, feeling the echoes of every long shift, every cheap insult she'd endured. The city outside seemed to pause for her answer. She set her espresso down, rolled her shoulders back, and nodded once. I'll run your front of house, but I do it on my terms, respect for every body in that dining room, no matter how much they weigh, who they love, or how they say their own names. Marcello tilted his head, the old Don mask returning for a flicker. You drive a hard bargain, Donna. She smiled, all defiance and affection. You don't know the half of it, Marcello. He stood, offering his hand. She took it, her grip strong. Together they walked into the kitchen, sunlight chasing their shadows. The staff gathered, eyes anxious. The anxious manager, now reduced to humility, looked between Donna and Marcello. Marcello raised his voice, all command. This is Donna Santini. From this day you answer to her. She runs this house with my blessing. That means her word stands. Am I understood? A ripple of nervous agreement answered him. Donna stepped forward, rolling pins still in hand. No more cruelty here, she said, her tone unwavering. If I hear anyone mock a customer or another staff about their body, their voice, their past, you answer to me and to Marcello. Some blinked, startled. A few, especially the younger servers and the old pastry chef, gave a shaky smile. One chef, dough still clinging to his forearms, muttered, "'Bout time." Marcello watched the tiny revolution with a satisfied nod. He leaned closer. "I could use another favor, Bella." She lifted her brows. "You're relentless." He grinned, leaning in so only she heard. "Come with me to the club this evening, not as protection, not as a shield. As my partner, there's business that needs a sharp tongue and no fear." Donna pretended to sigh, feigning put upon exasperation. "Twice in 24 hours, you move fast, Don Byank." "I move faster when the city tries to crack at my edges," Marcello said, "and I trust you more than half my blood." A silence lingered there, heavy with implication. Finally, Donna nodded. "All right, Marcello, but you take me dancing afterward, that's non-negotiable." He grinned, slipping his hand more firmly around hers, and led her out through the kitchen door, their footsteps in sync. Bellini's transformed by evening, chandeliers dripping gold into every corner, laughter now relaxed rather than brittle. Donna checked seating charts and whispered instructions, her posture regal. Marcello's men lingered less at the bar and more at the edges, watchful but less obtrusive now, with Donna at the epicenter. After the last flaming brandy was served and the clatter faded, Marcello appeared in the doorway to the club's velvet-lined private room. He beckoned Donna into the hush and bass of after hours, where the city's most complicated souls came to negotiate, to gamble, to forget. She entered, pulse a slow drumbeat. He waited with a glass of good Chianti. "Tonight you watch, you read the room, you tell me what I'm missing," Marcello instructed. She saw it then, small glances traded between the city councilman and a figure in a sequin dress, nervous ticks from the union boss at table 3. She pointed them out in murmured English, her insights deft as a knife, who was trustworthy, who was plotting, who would sell out at first light. "You have the instincts of a capo, a leader," Marcello murmured as the evening wore on. "I have the instincts of a survivor," Donna corrected softly. "You don't unlearn that, not even for all this." She gestured, encompassing silk, jazz, and the scent of whiskey. A beat of silence, then quietly, "Maybe that's what my empire's been missing." Time slowed amid the rise and fall of music. Later, Marcello extended his hand as promised. "You said dancing." She hesitated, heart rattling against her chest. He took her hand, guiding her to the tiny floor near the piano, ignoring the moneyed onlookers and their calculating stares. As Marcello pulled her close, Donna felt the room soften around her, the city's violence blurring into warmth. He led with surprising grace, the Don moving like a man born from rhythm and hunger. Donna laughed, a sound more genuine than anything she'd given the world in years. "I never thought I'd be here," she said, smile trembling a little at the edges. "Neither did I," he admitted, "and yet here we are." They danced as though the world outside could not touch them, circling under the last glow of a tired chandelier. Old scars pressed together, soft and unseen. The weeks that followed settled into something almost ordinary. Donna running the front of house like a conductor marshalling an orchestra, Marcello at her side, sometimes in shadow, sometimes glinting in the light. Salvator and his cronies were gone, replaced by a careful hush of respect, even among the staff who once scoffed. Donna set new rules, staff meals for all, sick days respected, a zero tolerance for cruelty. Business increased, regulars blossomed, her laughter became a nightly event. Word spread, Bellini's was where you went to be seen and, more importantly, to be known for who you were. One night as she wiped down menus, her old manager, now her assistant, came to her with awe. "You changed the place, Donna. They talk about you all over town. People feel safe here. Even the Don," he smiles more. She shrugged, feeling the tide of hard-won pride. Sometimes a city just needs someone to say enough. Marcello entered, coat draped over one arm, a small package in hand. "For you," he said, placing it softly by her elbow. She unwrapped it, eyes widening, a pair of ballet slippers, pink silk, obviously meant for someone twice her age and delightfully wrong-sized. She laughed. "I saw them at the opera yesterday," he said, sheepish as a boy. "Figured you might appreciate shoes meant for dancing rather than running." She slipped them on, pointed a clumsy toe, and grinned. "Don Bianc, are you asking me to perform?" He tilted his head, playful. "Only if the music is good and the audience appreciative." She took his hand and in front of the entire staff and half a dozen regulars spun across the black and white tile. Laughter filled the restaurant, applause erupting, the old chandelier humming overhead. Later, after the last glass had been washed, Marcello pulled her close beneath the street lamps outside. Rain threatened but held off, the summer warmth kissing their faces. "You're not afraid anymore," he said, voice raw. "I never was, you just showed me a room where fear had no place," she whispered. He kissed her gently first, then fiercely, as though he needed to prove their survival. His arms enfolded her, city and storm hushed around them. When she pulled away, Donna smiled at the world, a little less cruel, a little more hers now. And inside Bellini's, the old sign above the door now read, "Santini and Bianc, proprietors." The city kept moving, fast and relentless, 1,000 eyes watching, old stories burning out. But in that corner of Manhattan, behind buttery light and velvet drapes, Donna Santini was more than just a woman who survived. She was finally, irreversibly seen. And if anyone forgot it, well, there was an engraved rolling pin and a Don's fury to remind them.